I think we have to wait a few minutes. Let me check the chat. Okay. Next time we should prepare some music here.
Let me see what I have in my Spotify list.
Mhm. You know, if we're gonna publish this on YouTube, we have to somehow manage the for this audio.
I think this one is the best suited.
Okay, yeah, indeed. Okay, I see we're live on YouTube and LinkedIn. Good. Hey, Peter, thank you for joining us today. Okay. See. Okay, thanks everyone. Natalia, Boslava, Ihor, welcome. Alexander, you can open the chat. It's a huge chat button. I don't know. Hello, Yana. Okay. Darina, welcome. So, hello, Veronica. Okay, I think like 30, 20 seconds more and we're probably ready to start. What do you think, Alexandra? Hello, LinkedIn user. Good morning from Vancouver. Good morning, everyone. Okay, we're almost 5 minutes on live. I think we are ready to start. What do you think, Alexandra? I don't hear you. I just want to check that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you see how many users do we have?
No, unfortunately, I don't know how to check that. I see some activity in the chat, but I have no idea. Do you want to wait 1 more minute or something? Okay. So I see people is joining. Good. Good morning, everyone. Good evening. Okay. Hmm. Okay, our operator telling us that we are ready to start. Okay, thanks everyone for joining. You can use chat for communication. Feel free to share with us how you get to this from LinkedIn, from the other channel, what you're interested in, if there is any LMS system that you use currently. And in general, thank you for joining us today. So, choosing an LMS may sound like a simple software decision. Compare features, look at pricing, choose a vendor. But in reality, it often has a much bigger impact than expected. The wrong choice can create extra costs, slow teams down, frustrate learners, and become difficult to replace later. So today, we'll look at this decision from a practical angle. How to avoid costly mistakes and find an LMS that truly fits your organization. Here's what we'll cover today. We'll start with the most common mistakes we see in LMS projects, especially the ones that create problems before implementation even begins. After that, we'll go through a practical 4-step approach to choosing an LMS, defining your learning objectives, building a requirements map, understanding the business model behind the platform, and calculating the total cost of ownership. We'll also compare Moodle, OpenEdX, and Canvas from a practical point of view, and then look at how migration should be structured in practice based on our based on our implementation approach and the lessons we've learned along the way. By the end, you won't just have a list of platforms, you'll have a framework you can use inside your own organization to make a better LMS decision. Today, you'll be hearing from two of us. I'm Volodymyr Chekyrta, engineering manager at Raccoon. For more than 8 years, I work with LMS deployment, scaling, and long-term maintenance for universities, enterprises, and EdTech startups. Most of my perspectives come from seeing what happens after the platform is chosen, when the real work begins. Integrations, customizations, performance, support, upgrades, migrations. One thing that experience teaches you very quickly is how much a free LMS actually costs once you factor in everything around it. And that's something we'll get into today. Alexandra.
Thank you. And I'm Alexandra. I'm commercial director at Raccoon. I've been with the Raccoons for over 8 years now as a project manager, as a client partner, e-learning consultant, delivered over 200 LMS projects, and worked with clients across pretty much every sector. Enterprise, higher education, online schools. So I've seen a lot of different use cases with different outcomes, and you can probably tell that I'm eager to spill the tea. And before we get into it, I'm going to tell you first a bit more about the team of raccoons for just in case. And in the meantime, I have a quick questions for you guys as well. Please drop one in the chat if you're choosing an LMS right now. And two, if you already made your choice and here just to validate it. Three, if you're just bored and curious, that's also an option. And also, if possible, what LMS are you currently using, if any? This will help us to shape the talk a bit and adjust it better to the audience. While you typing, I want to give you a bit of context about why you should maybe trust us on this topic. So, Raccoon Gang has been in the LMS space for about 11 years now, or more than 11 years already, which basically means that we've seen this market evolve from let's just upload our PDF somewhere to this whatever is happening today with AI, analytics, tutors, and like 20 integrations per platform. We are official partners with multiple LMSs and have experience with many, many more. We work with a pretty wide range of clients like universities, enterprises, EdTech companies, and non-for-profits. So not just one type of case. And yeah, there are some fancy names like NASA, like Harvard, University of Washington, European Bank of Reconstruction and Development, UNESCO, and many more. But honestly, the more important part is not who the client is, it's that across all of them, the problems are surprisingly similar. People come in thinking we just need an LMS and maybe a couple of interesting use cases. And then 3 months later, after the release, it becomes, why is it so expensive? Or why are our users not using it? Or why our 30 plus unique use cases we've never thought to inform you about do not work here. And that's exactly why we're doing this webinar, because most LMS and cases and failures, they don't happen because of the platform. They happen because of the decisions that were made before platform is even chosen. So we'll try to help you avoid those today, ideally before you spend a lot of money learning these mistakes hard way. And maybe with this will help our future project stakeholders share with us their pains so that we can suggest something relevant. I see your messages in the chat. Thanks for that. So, as I thought, no one is looking for an LMS first time. Everyone already have something, and you probably have your own experience. So let's go to the fun part, the mistakes. Because based on our experience, this is where most of the projects go wrong, and usually a bit earlier than people may expect. The first one, choosing LMS by brand name. We heard Moodle is good. Everyone is using Moodle. Or our competitor uses Blackboard, so we should do too. And it may sound like a safe decision, but in reality, it's a bit like choosing a car because your neighbor have one without checking if you need like a truck or bicycle. Everyone knows you at least should get a better car. The second one is falling in love with features. So This also happens on all the time, and it is somewhat similar. You see a demo, it looks amazing, dashboard, gamification, AI, recommendations, and you think to yourself, wow, that's amazing, I need all of that. But then like 80% of those features, they never get used, but you still pay for them, or worse, you try to incorporate them into your processes and build them, your processes around those features. Third mistake, underestimating the real cost. This may hurt because the implementation or license price is usually just the tip of the iceberg. And everything else, like hosting, integrations, support, updates, your internal team time, this quietly adds up in the background. And suddenly your affordable LMS is not that affordable anymore. One of my favorites, no roadmap. So the platform gets launched, everyone celebrates, and then nothing happens. No new content, no improvements, no ownership, no plan. And within a year, it's just an archive of outdated courses. If nobody is responsible for the LMS from your side, your users will feel that very quickly. And the last classic is migration, for the sake of migration. This happens when you think that we don't like our current LMS. Let's migrate. Okay, but what exactly are you fixing? We got used to a lot of current features. We still want to have them. But the real question is, do your users actually use those? Because if you just copy everything as is, it means you're trying to replicate your old LMS on a newer engine. You're not solving problems, you're just relocating them. So, yeah, if you recognize at least one of these, you're already ahead of a lot of companies. And the good news are all of these are avoidable. And that's exactly what we'll walk you through next. Right, Volodymyr?
Exactly. This is usually the slide where teams get lost in a feature checklist and every vendor starts to look the same. We try to frame it a bit differently. These are not just nice LMS features, they're the technical floor. If a platform doesn't meet the basics here, you will probably pay for those gaps later, either through custom development, manual workaround, or painful limitations. Take scalability, for example. It's not about supporting 10,000 users in theory. It's about what happens on the first day of a semester or on the launch day of a corporate training program when everyone log in at the same time. Integrations are another important area. LTI, SCORM, XAPI, SSO, APIs. These are not just technical abbreviations. They define how well your LMS can work with the rest of your ecosystem. And API quality matters even more than simply having an API. We've seen platforms where the API technically exists, but covers only a small part of what the organization actually needs. For mobile, the question is also practical. It's not only responsive or native app. The real question is whether your learner can actually do what they need to do from their phones in their real environment with their real internet connection. For some audiences, offline access is critical. For others, it does not matter much. So don't treat this list as yes or no checklist. Treat each item as a conversation. The goal is to understand which requirements are non-negotiable in your context and where you can reasonably compromise. That is what separates a real technical assessment from a simple feature comparison table.
So, Volodymyr, among all of these features, what was the most challenging one for you to implement?
Ooh, good question. We implemented a lot of good scalable system and things. I think the one that right now in my mind, that's the offline mod and the mobile application that we implemented for OpenEdX. The idea was not just provide boring, readable only offline things, but rather provide fully interactive quizzes and content in offline mode. So learners still can proceed learning and enjoy all the content even without internet connection.
And you were telling about like not the just OpenEdX app for one of our clients. This is the OpenEdX app for
Yeah,
the
it was
community, right?
great. Yeah, exactly. The OpenEdX application, open source application. Yep.
So everyone on this webinar can go to download the OpenEdX mobile app and check Volodymyr's work themselves, the most challenging one.
Feel free to ping me with any questions.
All right. Now let's get back to the serious things. So if mistakes happen before LMS is even chosen, then the right decision also starts like before you even look at the platforms. So the first step, this may sound obvious, but it's the one that almost everyone either skips or rushes through. And then when I tried to define your learning objectives at a later stages with like assigned learning team, uh, they may actually be not even aware of those. And like everyone says, we of course we know what we need, but when we actually start working with clients, this is where things get surprisingly vague. So like instead of thinking we need an LMS, right now I want you to pressure test it a bit. um, Ask yourself a series of questions. So we'll gather them throughout this webinar. And these on the step one, I feel like they are the most important. Um, so the first question is, who are you actually training? Like employees, customers, students, because these are completely different products, not just different user groups. Second, what kind of content are you planning to deliver? Is it structured courses? Is it assessments and like online testing? Is it a lot of video or live sessions? Because again, not every platform is equally good at everything. Third, what outcome of your online learning are you actually measuring? You have to you have to measure your LMS and your online learning. And I don't mean just completion rates. I mean, what changes in your business if it works? Is it amount of certification, customer retention? Is it a reputational case? Do you want to increase your revenue growth? Because if you don't define success, you won't be able to tell if your LMS is working, no matter how it is good, like technically. And finally, the question almost nobody answers clearly: what business problem are you solving? Not just we need a platform, but why? Is it scaling training, reducing support load, standardizing knowledge, monetizing content? Because LMS is just a tool, and if the problem isn't clear, your tool won't just magically fix it. I get it. Some of you here are not the ones who make the ultimate decision. But if you eventually become a part of the team assigned to the task, like getting us on an LMS or creating your courses, please take some time to sit down with your decision makers and go over the strategy. Once you cover these questions, you can then move to a more practical task, which Volodymyr will guide you through next.
Yep, thank you. Actually, we're gonna proceed the exercise that Alexandra already started. So if you want, prepare your pen and paper. Before you open a single LMS website, do this simple exercise with your team. Split your requirements into two columns. The first column is must-haves. These are deal breakers. If the platform does not have them, it's not the right fit for you. Second column is nice to haves. These are useful, maybe even attractive, but you still can build a successful learning experience without them. This sounds simple, but it saves a lot of confusion later. The mistake we often see is that the nice to have list quietly become the must have list. For instance, we have a client who chose a platform partially because the gamification features look great in the demo. Badges, leaderboards, all the engagement mechanics. But the platform didn't have a proper API. So they spent the next 6 months building manual workarounds to connect it with their CRM. And in the end, the gamification was used only a few times. So the point is not that gamification is bad. The point is that priorities matter. Your requirements map should come from your learning goals, your users, your system, and your constraints. For one organization, mobile access may be a must-have. For another, advanced reporting. For another, SSO and API quality. Your list should look different from someone else because your context is different. And once your requirement is clear, you can move on to looking at the business models.
This decision will define not just your LMS and how it looks like, but also your costs, your flexibility, your speed, and your level of stress for the next couple of years. So let's quickly break down the options. You have software as a service, cloud-based platforms. These are usually the easiest to start with. You pay a subscription, everything is hosted for you, updates are handled, security is mostly covered, and this option is great when you want to move fast. You want easy start, and you do not want to deal with like infrastructure and technical questions. But and there is always a but. You're also playing by someone else's rules. This does not give you flexibility. Pricing will scale with amount of users, and sometimes features are locked behind higher tiers. How do you recognize these types of platforms? This is the case when a company offers like Moodle hosting or any per seat pricing model. Then there's self-hosted, usually open source. This is the completely opposite approach. You have full control, full flexibility. You can customize almost everything, but you also own everything: infrastructure, DevOps, updates, security. All of this is now your responsibility. So if you do not have a strong technical team, you should definitely find one. Next, we have things like white label or hybrid models. White label is usually about branding, making the platform look fully yours. It can be both SaaS or license models or open source ones. Hybrid is a mix of cloud convenience with some level of control. Usually, you have a SaaS base with some custom plugins or like development or a support team. This is an option where companies land when they want the flexibility without going fully into like we manage everything. It combines easy start with the custom touch when you're ready for it, basically. So the main questions for you to answer here are how many users are we planning for right now and like in a couple of years? Do we have an IT team with a learning expertise to support all of this? And what are our plans with this platform for like the next 5-10 years? So this might be one of the most underestimated decisions because companies often choose a model that feels right today and then like outgrow it pretty fast. And this is a very expensive mistake to get it wrong. And speaking of expensive, Volodymyr will guide you through the cost situation between all of these models. And I always love this part because this is where my open sourced LMS is free becomes kind of philosophical question.
Yeah, that's good one. Okay, let's extend this idea a bit. This is the step that changes how most people think about the decision. And the one that gets skipped most often. The license price is just the tip of the iceberg. Hosting, DevOps, updates, team training, ongoing support, custom development. That's everything below the surface. And it consistently costs more than the license itself, sometimes by a significant multiple. So when client tells us like Moodle is free, the conversation that we usually have like walk us through your hosting plan, your DevOps setup, and who handles update when a new version ships, because all of that is a real cost. On the SaaS side, like $10 per user per month sounds manageable until you are at 5,000 users, at which point you are looking at around $600,000 annually. And the math on self-hosted starts to look very different. And we've actually seen both direction work. Sometimes a self-hosted platform is cheaper over 2 or 3 years. Sometimes SaaS saves a client a lot of money because they do not have the internal team to support the platform properly. So the answer is not the SaaS is better or open source is cheaper. The answer depends on your scale, your internal capacity, and how much customization you need. That's why we recommend calculating total cost of ownership over at least 3 years, not just looking at first contract or the license price. Only then will you truly understand the financial situation.
And within your projects, how often that happened when clients underestimated what it means to self-host?
That's a tricky question again. It's not easy, but I can say like around, it depends, but each third client underestimate cost of ownership the platform.
Mine usually get scared when they see the total cost.
They never prepare it. Yeah, we trying, we're doing our best, but they always think it's gonna be free.
Yeah, and that's where budgets then start to evolve.
Right.
All right, so now that we've talked about goals, requirements, and costs, let's zoom out a bit, because like one of the simplest ways to sanity check your LMS decision is to understand what kind of LMS use cases are you actually building. And most projects we see fall into few pretty clear categories. So the first one is corporate learning, which is like internal training, onboarding, product education, sometimes even a customer education on your product. And the main goal here is efficiency. You want people to learn faster, make fewer mistakes, like reduce support or operational costs. So integrations, reporting, automations, all of these, like, they matter a lot here. Second one, universities and other formal education. This is more structural learning, like courses, programs, degrees, certifications, and here stability, scalability becomes critical. Also, maybe like the attendance checking, um, all of that stuff, because you're not just delivering the content, you're running an entire educational process here. Third one is online schools and EdTech. This is one is like, it's pretty interesting because it's not just an LMS as a tool for something. This often becomes your product, like your business, and you're trying to monetize content, or scale without like hiring more stuff. Mm, Building a user experience that people, your clients are willing to pay for. So things like UX, payments, like subscriptions, discounts, marketing integrations, all of those becomes like really important, just as important as learning features of the LMS. And the last one is non-for-profit organizations, government driven projects. Here, main goal is usually distribution at scale and budget. What we see here are a lot of users, more or less like simple learning scenarios, but very high requirements around accessibility, reporting, and sometimes compliance. So, why all of this matters? Because different platforms are naturally better suited for different scenarios, and a lot of frustration happen when there's a mismatch. So, again, just a quick check for you: which one of these sounds the closest to your case? Because that answer alone already narrows down your options like quite a bit. Yeah. So, yeah, let's get probably into the platforms themselves. Um, just to set an expectations here, we are not gonna tell you this LMS is the best. Go get it, just because this is how bad decisions usually happen. Instead, we'll walk you through these three platforms: OpenEdX, Moodle, and Canvas, because we work with them most of the time. And that is because like 80 to 90% of our use cases that we deal with on a daily basis, they can be covered with these three platforms. And interestingly enough, these platforms are built on very different philosophies. So, not just different features, but different ways of thinking about learning, about scale, and ownership. So, instead of comparing them like a checklist with this LMS has feature A and this one doesn't, I want you to listen for something else. Which one feels closest to your reality, to your team, your case, your goals? I don't know, because again, there is no universal winner here. There's only one platform that fits your case, and our goal is to help you understand which one is that. And yeah, Volodymyr will guide you through the like pros and cons of these three LMSs, and I suggest you don't try to decide immediately. Just notice the direction that starts to resonate with your case. Okay.
Yep, and I'm gonna compare them with a sea creature to make it in a funny way. So, like, Moodle to me, like an octopus, it has a lot of hands and tools in it. It could provide you maximum flexibility. It's highly customizable. It's fully configurable. It supports full data ownership. It has huge ecosystem, thousands of plugins and broad functionality. But you need to understand that you're gonna pay for this complexity. You will need experienced administration to administrate all of the things, and strong internal team to manage that. Or you need like experienced partner to help you with scaling that, managing, upgrading all the things. It's not gonna be easy. On the other hand, we have OpenEdX. OpenEdX is like a whale. The most important part is that you can keep a big whale in a tiny pool. It's built for scale. It's ideal for large, complex learning programs. It has deep customizations. Its block architecture enables unique learning experience at custom assessment formats. And it's basically proven at enterprise and university levels. But you have to understand that it's demanding by technical stack. It requires strong DevOps and infrastructure support. And as I mentioned, it might be not the best fit for small teams or lightweight use cases. The LMS performs really good at scale and usually is used by MOOC and NGOs. And we have the third one, Canvas. It's like Dolphin to me. I don't know. It's fast, it's smart, it's cool, because it has like strong UI UX system. It provides intuitive system for instructors, for learners, with short onboarding curve. It good for fast adoption at scale, especially in university and enterprise environment. But it has a bit limited amount of plugins if we compare it to Moodle, and some advanced features might be locked by higher pricing tiers. And like this LMS was originally created for and is now the LMS of choice for the biggest universities of the world.
I know that we've probably argued about these three more times than I can count. So I have a question for you, Volodymyr. If you had to choose just one platform to work with, like to live and breathe with for the next 5 years, no switching allowed, which one will you choose?
Oh my God, there's no right answer. Okay, no ability to change. I would stick, based on my experience, that's just my personal decision. I would stick to OpenEdX because mostly I worked with MOOC system and OpenEdX. What about you?
That's actually like the case. I would not pick the same one.
Okay.
Like different LMSs used for different people, right?
Indeed.
Me personally, I would prefer swimming in the pool with dolphins rather than any other sea creatures. You chose those.
Makes sense.
All right. Let's go over a couple of actual use cases that we've seen. Um, so, the first one, the University of Washington Continuum College, they chose OpenEdX as a platform to distribute their continuous programs. And this is where they not just move to their like university courses into online, they approach it as a business. And the result was that they raised revenue from new educational products in the first year only for like 35%. Next one is NASA. It is interesting. I like it because It challenges a pretty common approach. A lot of organizations, especially not-for-profits, they invest in creating like individual courses as a SCORM files and then kind of like place them somewhere. NASA went other way around. They started with a proper LMS first, and then incorporated SCORM inside as a part of course, as an interactive content, which it sounds like a small difference, but it's actually not, because all of a sudden they had visibility. Not just who created a course, but who actually started it. Where do people drop off? Who completes the course? Who gets certified? And even free open programs. That data is incredibly valuable. Otherwise, you're basically throwing your content into a void and hoping for the best. Third case is one of my personal favorites. This was actually one of my first projects when I started working with Raccoon gangs. This is Calypso Continuing Education. They started their business with live trainings on real estate appraisals courses. Very personal, very dependent on instructors. And then they tried to go online. And honestly, they tried a lot of things. WordPress-based LMS, Oracle, even like some custom solutions. None of that really worked. When they came to us, we helped to implement them and customize a proper LMS setup up to their needs. And the key result wasn't just like they finally went online. It was that they were able to scale and they reached new markets and grow their business without increasing like operational costs or hiring more instructors. Actually, honestly, like their main asset as a character of the incredible subject matter expert that cannot be cloned, unfortunately, but can be captured and multiplied inside the online learning course. And then a bit different use case, the corporate one, NA10. So they've implemented LMS-based onboarding for their users, and the goal wasn't the educational process like as a product, it was their business efficiency. So instead of explaining the same things over and over through like support, they built structured onboarding inside the LMS, and the result is lower support load, better user understanding of the product, and higher retention and subscription rates. So across all of these cases, they very different goals, but the pattern in the same is if you treat LMS as a strategic tool, it drives real business outcomes. And actually, a good example of cases when these mistakes were avoided in a really good way. So let's imagine that you already have a platform, but not really satisfied with it. There is a logical next step, like reevaluate, select a new one, and plan your migration. And usually, this is where update stops. It just feels like too much work. But do not let this frighten you. The migration itself, it's not that big of a deal. We've done it all. We've migrated in and out of these LMSs and as well as like dozen of our others. It's a matter of well-written scripts, I guess. Quick, automated, reversible. Migration actually is a interesting moment where you're allowed to stop and ask yourself and your team what is actually working, what is not, what is outdated, and what do we want to carry moving forward. Because maybe in most of the projects there is a lot of content and then structure or logic that just doesn't deserve to survive the move. Old courses, outdated, nobody uses, or broken structures. It's like, imagine that you're moving to a new house. Maybe it is a good idea to leave your old couch and ditch grayish old towels behind. Um, Treat yourself with the smell of new things in your new home and go full Mary Kondo on your old platform. If you're afraid of losing everything, if you have like a lot of old courses, like archive of 10 years worth of content, I don't know, make sure that you keep your old platform not till the migration, but also through the testing phase and a couple of months of actual usage of a new one. Or you may even save the data from your old platform in a backup. So I guess my point is, if you're thinking about migration right now, don't think of it as a technical headache. Think of it as your chance to finally do it right. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. So I hope no one mentioned that one of our slides was broken today, and it was a great conversation. We covered the full picture. The key takeaway, we can. Oh my God, what happens with this as well? Okay, I hope no one gonna mention this probably, right? Yeah, that looks fine to me. Um, an LMS, it's not just a platform for hosting courses. It's strategic tool for building knowledge, capability, and consistency across your organization. And the right decision starts with clarity. What you want to achieve, what your requirements really are, what model fits your context, and what the total cost will be over time. And if you are interested to work through your context, your specific case, we actually offer a free consultation, not a sales call, real practical conversation. I think the link should be appear somewhere in the chat now, I hope. And we are ready to move to the Q&A section. What do you think, Alexandra?
Yeah, let's do that. If you can read the questions, because
Let me, yeah, I have chat open here, just in front of me. Let me find, I don't know, one big LMS for everyone or different for each faculty? What's better? Good question. I'm not.
Um,
Go on.
universities are my specialty, and I hear faculty, so I assume this one comes from a university. So I would treat this a bit differently. Choose an LMS for your use case. If you have one, just like one big university with multiple faculties, you can probably have like one LMS to cover all of those. You can put students into cohorts or like groups, assign roles, and manage all of your learning process there. But if you have any other use case, like the one that I mentioned previously with the continuous education within the university, this is your sign to get another platform. First of all, probably you will have different requirements for all of those, for these two use cases. And second of all, it's the security reason as well. It's just a good idea to keep your students' data separated from the platform that is open for everyone to buy your course and enroll.
I could say that I can apply the same case for like enterprise and things. If you have different branches with different specific in like different countries, this case also might be interesting for you. Depends on the context, on the content, what you're trying to teach, and so on your goals as usual. So the next question, let me catch something. Oh, that's gonna be mine. What AI feature do these LMS actually have right now? Anything beyond just chatbots? Good question. Yeah, good question. We live currently in this situation when AI develops like really fast every day, delivers something new on the market, and like in general, if we compare right now, I can say that probably Canvas is the most AI enabled LMS right now. They like integrated their AI system and agents through the whole system on the learner side, on the teacher side, some like engagement mechanics, advanced reports, and so on. It looks cool, but I know that Moodle and OpenEdX are working right now also on a lot of interesting things in AI. So you basically see how this AI race is going really fast. And today, I can say the Moodle is the best like LMS with the best AI features. But we should keep observe the situation because tomorrow might be something new on the OpenEdX side or Moodle side. So yeah, like this. What do you think, Alexandra? While I'm looking for the next question.
I actually saw one of the newest questions in the chat, which is actually also asked about AI integrations.
Mhm.
And it sounds like this. I also am interested in the extent of AI integration with LMS beyond chatbots. So much planning is done in Claude, etc., and then manually inputted into the LMS. It's a lot of manual labor that could be optimized and also would reduce the margin for error. That is, yeah, thank you for this question. It's actually a really good one as well. And here I guess I just can only copy what Volodymyr said. In my experience, Canvas right now covers this almost completely. Like you can start to create courses with the help of AI inside of the LMS. So maybe you should explore it a bit deeply and get a demo of these features. That this might be interesting for you.
Okay, yep, thank you. So if you see the chat right now, I wanna allow you choose the next question.
I see it from the last questions. So mm, how future-proof are these platforms? Will they still be relevant in 5 years or become outdated? I can get one, this one as well. So thanks for this question. We've been working with all of these LMSs for pretty long time. If we say that you just get one of the outsourced open source platforms and like host it yourself, install it once and use it for the next 5 years, I mean you will be able to do that, but we strongly recommend getting an update at least like once a year. With the SaaS options, they handle this for you, and I mean they all of these big three LMSs are seems pretty stable. They have the roadmap ahead of them for years, so I would say that it is a safe option. If you do have another sort of proprietary LMS, which is like um, Yeah, I don't know. It may probably die or be dying already in a couple of years. I don't know your current situation, but in any case, you always can migrate to another one. I don't think that's a really big problem for you. If we're talking about 5 years, choose the one that feels like a good fit for you.
Okay, and I see we're on time, but I want to catch this last question from the chat. What do you think are the inconvenient? What do you think are the inconvenient for a large organization to design their own platform instead of using an LMS? Uh, Good question, actually. For today, like we just mentioned, like Claude, GPT, and all the stuff, and see like you now can easily build the system, like your own system for you. But why I would stick to the some LMS solution that already on the market or like open source or just something from the market, because it's tested with time, it's tested with accessibility, with UX UI patterns, it developed on user experience on a lot of years. It has a lot of bug fixes, so you don't spend time on the bugs. I understand it looks like attractive. Drop a prompt to the Claude or Chat GPT and ask like build me a LMS system or something to train my stuff, but it will provide also you a lot of headache with managing this system, with scaling this system, with testing basically this system. So I
Yeah.
still would stick to the ready LMS solution.
You can always customize it, right? I've already had a couple of requests from our clients who built uh, their LMS solution, and right now they want to like scale it and fix it, and all of a sudden we see that it is not really stable, not really secured. Like we were able to download like all of the users' information out of it just because they haven't thought about securing the front end. So I would reframe this question as what the pros are. If you have your IT team, you definitely can take one of the open source LMSs like OpenEdX and build your customizations on top of that, and like manage your customizations, and you will have a pretty stable customized platform. But at the same time, you won't have the burden of maintaining the whole of it. Like OpenEdX will release new updates every 6 months. You will have to just upgrade the core, and boom, you have a new LMS. Otherwise, your team will have to do all of the upgrades themselves. Like if a new version of, I don't know, Python or whatever
Yeah,
you're
yeah, let me
using.
interrupt you here. Just I want to like
Yeah.
one big thing. It's security actually, and your data, how it's secure. And you know the big systems, they are tested. They provide like in-time patches for security and stuff. So like we know that currently with AI build system, we've seen a lot of these stories from market like. I built SaaS and I was hacked like in 3 days or something. So the security is also the good point that somehow should be managed. Alexander, would you like to add something?
I guess I already did. It's pretty hard to stop me when I start. So
Okay. So I'm gonna wrap it up right here. Say again, thanks everyone. If you have like any extra questions or you need a consultation or something, we would be happy to provide you with that. And have a great one. Thanks.
yeah, yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to like contact us, and we'll be glad to answer all of those. As you may see, we're pretty chatty. All right. Thank you, everyone.